Life is very difficult for many of us, but often in unexpected times we are offered a helping hand. Then the impossible becomes possible. Today we will show you the most amazing instances when people were not afraid to commit acts of kindness. Right now, these people are committing an act of kindness, saving a kitten that fell into the sea. Look how desperately it clings to life, grabbing onto the rope. And this gentle old man is giving water to a dog right from his palms. He fills his hands with water from a tap inaccessible to the dog. And this blind grandma knits socks and mittens for orphanages. She does it by touch and counts the stitches to make the right size. It began about 14 years ago when, as a result of her daughter's demise, one of her 7 grandkids ended up in the foster system. Now this grandma lives alone and these kids are her new family. These guys are garbage collectors who came to surprise a local resident on her 100th birthday.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Make a wish. You should live to 105.
Shut up.
You're about to see that this CEO has the most grateful workers in the world. After he raised their minimum wage to $70,000, they have been putting some money aside for a year and bought Dan the car of his dreams.
Oh my god. Are you kidding?
A Tesla. This boy wearing strange shoes is called Rego, and he is an orphan. He got kicked out of his friend's house and he didn't have a chance to collect his possessions. Rego had walked over 90 kilometers when he caught the eye of the author of this video, Bakati. He bought this young man new shoes, socks, and clothes. Next, he fed the boy and gave him money to buy a phone. After that, the Good Samaritan put him in a taxi and wished him all the best. A New York police detective narrowly escaped a gas pump that was hit by a car a moment before. First, he ran away, but then he came back and, risking his own life, saves the 69-year-old Toyota driver. According to one of the theories, the driver was experiencing diabetic shock. Just take a look at the way this kind India police officer helps a homeless dog to cross a busy road. And this patrol officer stopped the world to walk an elderly person across the road. Norwegian tourists got stuck in coastal mud while watching birds. Fortunately for them, this fisherman was nearby. The guy refused any reward from the couple. People found this friendly pup on the side of the road. Turns out she recently lost her brother. He was probably hit by a car. The puppy thought that she was all alone, but kind people took her home and now she has a family and new friends. It looks like online coach Josef Rakik set the bar really high for other men when he proposed to his girlfriend. After a helicopter ride, the couple landed at the biggest stadium in New Zealand. The girl saw a huge box, inside of which was a pink Range Rover worth $100,000. And, of course, Rakik got down on one knee and presented a spectacular engagement ring. What do you think was her response? In a second, this woman will receive a wonderful gift from her children. Her and this black cat Jack lived happily together for 3 years. They were the last 3 years of her life. And here you can see a driver practically flying in the left lane. The Ford driver noticed the hazard and cut the Volga off to prevent it from running over a woman and her child. A race driver gets trapped in a burning car, but his dad heroically pulls him out of the fire seconds before disaster happens. Ironically, this dramatic event took place on Father's Day. The author of this video asked a boy to answer a simple math question. to get anything he can grab in 5 seconds for free.
It's 9 times 9 is 81.
What would you have chosen?
4, 3.
Sometimes to do a good deed, you have to make an effort, just like these kids who put some rocks around a manhole. And other times, the amount of effort required for a good deed is a lot smaller. Subscribe to our channel and make our team a little happier. And now you can see a biker stop the traffic in order to help an old man cross the road. This 12-year-old boy from Minnesota is colorblind, and he just saw the true colors of the world thanks to the principal of his school, who also suffers from this affliction.
That's awesome.
This turtle nearly became a victim of a tiger shark. It was nearly in the shark's jaws, but the guys on a boat managed to drive the predator away.
Hold on. How do we get the turtle? Get the turtle.
They pull the turtle onto the boat and take it to safe waters, where they let it go. And this is the emotional reunion between a woman and her brother, who came to see her after 24 years of separation. Sometimes, to be truly happy, you just need to be handed an ice cream by Spider-Man. And this guy just had a dream come true. A Mustang his parents gave him for his 16th birthday.
Look on his face.
Dylan! Woo!
A man is sitting on a couch and watching a video filmed by his best friend Ben, a person he hasn't seen for 7 years. Check out how surprised he is to learn that the man embracing him is Ben himself. Ben's homecoming was a 60th birthday gift for his friend. A gym teacher has been wearing his Jordan 13 since 1998 until their soles were worn out. His students bought him a new pair for Christmas. Deer also need help from time to time. Their antlers can get stuck on a hammock and they need someone to set them free, just as this man did. Someone cruelly tortured this parrot, leaving it without the top part of its beak. It had 0 chance of survival. The doctors saved it by designing a prosthetic practically identical to the real thing. Now the parrot leads a normal life. The people in this video are actors, but it still shows a great example of human kindness. This guy noticed an old man using a sack as clothing and gave the man his jacket, leaving a wad of money in the jacket pocket. We already told you about a man who single-handedly cleared the drain from dirt and debris and thus freed the road from wastewater. Meanwhile, this guy rides along London canals on a handmade floating bicycle and collects plastic waste. It takes him 45 minutes to set up his bike, and the ride itself can be dangerous. But that's the way he encourages people to say no to single-use plastic. This guy is a professional pole dancer. He also helps disabled people, showcasing his hairdressing skills. This little girl saw a Scooby-Doo character, Shaggy, right in front of her. The owner of a pizza shop in Philadelphia came up with an awesome way to help homeless people. The shop visitors can purchase a Post-it for $1, write a message to a stranger, and stick it on the wall. Any homeless person can take a Post-it and use it to get a free slice of pizza. This driverless car is moving right towards an intersection, but look at what the traffic officer does. Washington State Patrol Trooper Yaroslav Holdakov happened to be in the right place at the right time when he discovered a man one step away from leaping off a bridge.
Don't do it, man. No, don't do it.
Afterwards, the man was taken to the hospital for a psychiatric evaluation. In China, a train station worker saved a college student who tried to jump under a train. He managed to grab her and drag her away from the edge of the platform seconds before the train's arrival. He sustained a head injury as he fell. When a fire started in this house, none of its occupants were at home, but their beloved dog was still inside. Without a second thought, its owner came to its aid. Thankfully, he managed to find it in the flaming house and save it from dying. He had burns on his arms and lost all of his earthly possessions, but he had something much more valuable: his loved ones, and of course, a kind heart. Just take a look at the emotions of a 4-year-old Logan from LA when he saw a parade of ambulance vans in honor of his birthday. But that's not all.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
This little boy was $2 short when trying to get some frozen custard. Cashier Travis discreetly paid the difference with his own money, and a satisfied customer left with his dessert. But the story did not end there. An hour later, the boy brought Travis a thank you note from his mother and a $100 bill. And this little kid is off to wish his mom Happy Mother's Day.
Put him right here for mom. Right here, baby. Put him in here. There you go. Say hi.
This man is paralyzed from the waist down, which did not stop him from having the first dance with his bride. Here's the heartwarming moment when he stands up tall with a little help from his dad and brother. And this teacher was speaking at a school assembly when she unexpectedly came across her soldier son's name, who was previously deployed for several months. A regular of a popular U.S. restaurant decided to anonymously reward a hard-working employee by giving him a brand new sedan.
There it is.
His love of football has helped 14-year-old Colin Donaldson from the U.S. in a tough fight with Burkitt's lymphoma. And just imagine his joy when he met his idol BVB player Christian Pulisic backstage, as well as his team. 89-year-old Derlin knew he wasn't receiving enough benefits to pay his bills, so he got a job as a pizza delivery guy. This married couple decided to raise money for the elderly man with the help of their TikTok followers, expecting at least a small amount. Imagine his surprise when he was handed a $12,000 tip.
How do I ever say thank you? I don't know what to say.
And these are the raw emotions of a girl who just found out she was adopted by her stepmom.
Oh my God.
If it wasn't for you, man, I love you a lot, dude. You kept me on the right track.
This homeless man can't see very well. He really needs glasses, and they cost $50, but he only has 11 in his wallet. But look how happy he is when the man behind the counter gives him $500.
$500 for you. Go get your
I
glasses.
am tomorrow. I'm gonna get my glasses. I'm gonna be a fucking oh my god. Oh my god, man.
It's scary to imagine what might have happened to this old gentleman if it weren't for the brave men who saved him while risking their own lives before the firefighters got there. This woman lives alone, caring for her grandson, working 2 jobs to cover medical bills and car repairs. Just before Christmas, Secret Santa anonymously drops off her gifts. In this box, there was $1,000. But the real surprise was waiting for her outside.
With you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
After noticing the guard lost consciousness, these inmates could have taken his weapon and fled, but instead they are trying to help the man who is having a heart attack. Their screams were heard by the staff just in time to save the man. And the owner of this elderly pug built a ramp for him to make it easier for his dog to move around after a heart attack and seizures. And this hairdresser shaves off his own hair in solidarity with his colleague and friend who has cancer. In this video, a son is shaving his mom's head when suddenly he switches to his own. These people know sacrificing your hair is the least they can do to support a loved one. 96-year-old man was caught speeding on the road near a school, but the judge dropped all charges when he learned that the old man was taking his 63-year-old son, who has cancer, to the hospital.
You are a good man. You are a good man. You really are what America is all about. Here you are in your 90s, and you're still taking care of your family. That's just a wonderful thing.
This old lady was feeling dizzy and she worried she might fall over on the road. It's a good job she came across this kind driver. And here's the happiest and most important mascot of the Atlanta Hawks basketball team. Sometimes to become a rock star, you just need to be a good person, like this delivery driver called Greg. During the pandemic, he worked 6 days a week, including overtime. On one of his work days, the residents gathered to show their gratitude.
I'm blessed to know each and every one of you. Blessed. And just thank you so much.
Thank you.
A postman and a 3-year-old girl have been greeting each other with this fiery jig every day for 2 years. This boy doesn't have a skateboard, but who says you can't have fun without one? And now you see a heartwarming reunion between a son and his father, who came back to attend his wedding after working overseas for a long time.
Did you really think I was gonna miss it? Did you? Hey?
No, this chef is not planning on feeding a giant. This Turkish porridge is meant to feed all the local people in need. Just look at this excitement. And this boy did not have any clothes or shoes, but his friends didn't leave him hanging. Sometimes, to be perfectly happy, all you need is to hug a police officer. Or to see someone smile. And this man saw color for the first time in 55 years, thanks to his family who bought him glasses for the colorblind. The wife of this elderly man spent a long time in the hospital and just came home. They have been together for 60 years. And this kind driver helped an old man who fell off his bike. A man is trying to push his car that stopped working, and look what happens. And this cutie is thanking the pizza delivery man.
Can you ask Siri to pick a number from 1 to 50?
Yes.
Blogger Josh Sean came up with a cool way to leave a tip.
Pick a number from 50 to 100.
The answer is 80.
80. Says 80.
No.
For me, just do it for me.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
You're gonna make me cry.
that's okay.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom and cry really quick. Thank you.
A girl called Thoraya Maronesi found her calling in doing good deeds. For instance, she might be giving away flowers, or discreetly leaving a bit of money for people to buy some chocolate, or plant a wallet with $77 inside, gifting it to the first person who finds it. You can find this and a lot more on her YouTube channel. And this girl celebrated her 20th birthday by committing 20 acts of kindness. This guy took up any odd jobs in order to save up and buy a car for his dad, who works as a landscape designer. For 2 years, the father was driven to work by his wife. Just check out this reaction.
That's your truck, boy. Didi, this my truck.
In this footage, a disabled man was window shopping for a phone, although he did not have any money. But watch what happens. The author of this video just buys him an iPhone.
Take a picture. You see? Very nice.
And later gave him some cash to buy food.
Thanks. Thanks, very nice.
And how about this shocking moment featuring the rescue of a van that was stuck on a railway track? Firemen spotted an unconscious kitten laying lifeless on the floor of a burning house. A few moments later, the fireman puts an oxygen mask around its face while using cold water to bring the unconscious patient back to life. A Russian policeman used his patrol car to stop a speeding car, saving the lives of the pedestrians crossing the road. It is a good thing that it only took him just seconds to act. Even though some people were a little banged up, no one was injured. This woman notices an old man shuffling across the busy street when it begins to rain. She rushes towards him to give him an umbrella. What a great act of kindness! An old man is seen crossing a road with cars and becomes frightened and freezes. Another man jumps out of his car and gives the old guy a piggyback ride to safety. And here's a father returning from the military as a huge surprise gift for his family. An off-duty policeman is walking by a river with his family and notices a woman screaming for help. Without thinking twice, he leaps into the river towards the struggling child. Watch as the crowd helps them get back on dry land. These people formed a human chain to save their dog trapped in undercurrents of a spillway drain. Watch what happens. Watch as this guy removes chunks of grass and dirt covering a drain on a highway.
Look at that. He cleared that and look at that go. Amazing.
Wow. Oh. Look at the plug in your bathtub. It's unbelievable how
That guy's
yes. started circling.
And here's the same road a few minutes later. Here's a 6-year-old boy who gave his allowance to a homeless man. This Kenyan runner, Kenneth Kipkimoy, has some difficulties finishing a 10-kilometer race. He tries his best to cross his line, but fails every time. A few moments later, another runner, Simon Chapro, picks him up and helps him cross the finish line and holds him up until medics can arrive. Simon's win was forfeited to help his friend, but he was later awarded $15,000 for his sportsmanlike deed. This is the tear-jerking moment when the boyfriend of a girl helps her shave her head because she suffers from alopecia, which makes your hair fall out. You can see it's tough on her. But then her boyfriend shaves his head in support of her and she bursts into tears. Truly heartwarming. Some fishermen in Russia caught something other than fish. A swan trapped and tangled up in a mess of fishing line. It looked like the swan had all but given up and was resting upside down, its head lying on its stomach. Fishing line had tangled the big swan to some tree branches and the line was wrapped around its neck several times. It takes some time to finally get the line off the bird, but the bird is so tangled up the fisherman brings it to the shore and uses scissors to finish the job. The swan is now free and looks like it will recover, and another swan, possibly its mate, was watching the whole rescue. It sure was nice of these guys to take the time from fishing to save an animal. This child was walking along in the rain when he noticed a brick over a drain and picked it up. Underneath is a bunch of garbage. He starts to remove the junk and the water starts to drain. Just doing a friendly deed. In Amsterdam, a dog playing fell into a canal and wasn't able to climb out. A woman passing by jumped into the water to save the animal. She looks to be having a rough time when another man jumps in to help. After a little bit of a struggle, the dog is finally brought back to the bank. These office workers could have just drank their hot coffee in front of the cold window washers outside on a scaffold, but that would be rude. Instead, the guys outside get a nice surprise when the office buys them a coffee. What you're witnessing is a daring attempt to rescue a 9-year-old black Labrador named Hardy that was out on a walk and found himself trapped in the partially frozen river. Fire and rescue services were called, who crawled across the thin ice.
Good boy!
The dog is back on shore where he's dried off and happily wagging his tail, thanking his rescuers. Had these kind people not been there, the worst could have happened. Here you see a guy successfully rescuing foxes that fell in a concrete storage drain. Sometimes there's truly positive acts of kindness like these window cleaners disguised as superheroes. And here you see the emotions of a little girl named Bedell from Nigeria after receiving a doll. Some guys notice a couple of seal pups need help and capture them. Fishing line is wrapped around the neck of the first animal.
You gonna get better now?
They cut it off and the baby seal runs back to the ocean. The second seal has plastic wrapped around its neck. When they cut it off and open the net, the seal is calm, relaxed, and not trying to bite anyone. It likes to be pet and wants to hang around with its new friends. Asrar Khan Usmani has saved so many animals, the people have nicknamed him the Spiderman of Bangalore, because he climbs tall buildings and trees to help the animals. He's rescued cats, dogs, monkeys, and birds that have been trapped in difficult places. He also works with veterinarians and firefighters anytime an animal needs help. Asrar is a random act of kindness just waiting to happen. A woman uses a pair of kitchen tongs to snatch 4 baby ducks out of a sewer drain they had fallen into.
There you go.
Oh, look, she hears him! She hears him! Go back! Oh, that's like the sweetest reunion ever.
A man from San Diego took part in a random act of kindness project and came up with the idea to take some homeless people out to breakfast. Being homeless once himself, he rounded up some hungry-looking people from the street and gathered them together at a restaurant for breakfast. No, he's not rich, and he didn't win the lottery, and is still trying to survive himself. A man in Perth, Australia stepped into a gap between the train wagon and the platform, and his leg was stuck. Authorities tried to free him. When this didn't work, they asked everyone inside the cars to go outside and help push the train enough so the man could get his leg out. On the second try, he was free. A traffic cop runs over to help an old lady get across the road safely. A man with special adult needs found himself behind on his home taxes, and he had lost all the people that had helped care for him: his mother, grandmother, his father, and his brother. Neighbors learned that he had a $50,000 tax lien placed on his house, and he might end up losing his home. They started a GoFundMe page and was able to raise enough money to save his home, and at the last moment, a neighbor donated $3,000 for additional taxes. That's a lot of kindness. Eugene Yoon wanted to do a life-altering act of kindness. He saw a video on his Facebook page about a man named Arthur who was unable to walk. Eugene knew he had to help him, but it would cost $80,000. Eugene quit his job and hiked from the California-Mexico border to Canada. People donated to his cause, and he was able to buy the robotic exoskeleton so Arthur could walk again. He then went searching for another random act of kindness project and met Alberto Velasquez, a seamster that lives with 24 family members under a single roof. Eugene said that for years he wanted to start a clothing line, and Alberto had inspired him to finally do it. Now Alberto gets paid making shirts that Eugene sells on kinlovgrad.com. A win-win act of kindness. In China 2017, two cars collided at an intersection. The car overturns, leaving the driver trapped inside as a man tries to pull him out. But it's not going to happen. But within 20 minutes, more than 20 people rushed to help push the small SUV back to the upright position. Believe it or not, no one was injured in the accident. Traffic can be scary. A small dog was hit by a car that didn't stop. That's when an 11-year-old boy raced out into the street facing oncoming traffic and picked up the injured dog and brought him to safety. That's a super dangerous thing for a small, young child to do. The boy was praised for his heroic actions. In Bangladesh, a flooded river separated a baby deer from its family, but a local teenage boy took the tiny deer in his hands, raised his arms, and crossed the river. Sometimes the water was even above this brave kid's head while he skillfully crossed the river, bringing the animal to the shore. No one was hurt, but the man spent 9 years in prison. This video captioned "Brother of the Year" has gone viral. When a little girl fails to get the ball in the basket, her brother consoles her in the most heartwarming way.
It's okay. You're strong.
Then he lifts her to help her land a perfect goal. A small child with a big heart.
Yeah!
This girl is about to get the best birthday present ever. She is about to learn that she is about to be adopted, along with her brother and sister.
I'm going to be adopted?
These children spent 3 years in foster care. Tim Bobbitt and Kylie, his wife's young daughter, had an equally emotional moment when he officially offered the girl to be his daughter.
All of our family and friends, is the day I get to adopt you.
The home of an 8-year-old boy named Daniel was destroyed in a fire. The kids and the teachers wanted to make him happy, and they practically showered him with new toys. A woman could have just received her parcel, but that would have been too cold-blooded. So she left some treats for the delivery driver. Check out his reaction.
What is this so nice?
A grandson surprised his grandpa by restoring a 1957 Chevy Bel Air for his 81st birthday.
Oh!
Oh, my God.
That's what the car looks like now, after previously looking like this. Everything from the chrome front panel to the vintage small block V8 engine was restored by hand. The grandson painstakingly worked on this project for several months. The car was purchased in 1965 when Fred was only 28 years old. In 2013, waiters in Utah were making about $2.13 an hour. A group of bloggers decided to improve their situation.
How much do you want us to tip you?
$1 million. Just kidding.
They went into diners and left $200 tips.
Have you wired up and everything? Yeah. Dude, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
The goal was to see what happens when waitstaff get a sum worth almost 94 hours of their work.
I love you guys. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Oh, boy.
A Wyoming police cruiser deliberately crashed into a pickup truck driven by a drunk driver in order to stop him. Everyone involved received minor injuries. During a raging fire in an unfinished apartment complex, a construction worker got stuck on the 5th floor. Take a look. The flames are getting closer to the man, forcing him to jump to the next story down. But he is still in danger. The rescue squad came to his aid. Just imagine what would have happened if only they were delayed by a few minutes. Because of a mechanical malfunction, this minivan overturned and slid for several feet. It set on fire, and its 3 passengers were in a hell trap. But this brave passerby helped to free the trapped occupants. In just 14 minutes, the car burned to a crisp. Just imagine what would have happened to the passengers if the guy just kept driving. In a few seconds, this gym is going to be filled with love and kindness. A basketball player with Down syndrome takes a final 3-point shot. Just look at the support he receives. And now you see a touching reunion between a son and a father who was involved in a car accident. The son is a paramedic and he managed to make arrangements to be with his dad while the latter is being transported to a different hospital.
Surprise!
This old man fell down right in the middle of the road. The driver lady rushed out of her car to help him get up. She is joined by a driver of another car. At the opening of the Battlehawks vs. New York Guardians game, Battlehawks player Casey Sales came up to her and completed this mutually beneficial exchange to put a smile on her face. The girl in this video has cancer. Because of chemo, she is losing her hair and her mom is helping her to shave it off. And this emotional moment is when the woman also shaves off her long hair as a gesture of support. Neither mom nor daughter can hold back their tears. These 2 girls are sisters, and one of them is ill. We can see that the healthy girl also has no hair as a way to show her solidarity. And right now, she is shaving off her eyebrows to support her sister.
These don't make you pretty. They don't make you.
In this video, a son is shaving his mom's head when suddenly he switches to his own. These people know sacrificing your hair is the least they can do to support a loved one.
Oh, dude. Oh my God.
These 2 guys don't even need to talk to show respect to one another. Afterwards, the biker and the bus driver synchronously greet each other as if they've been rehearsing it for months. A 14-year-old All Blacks fan ran onto the pitch during their victory lap. The steward tackled him, but this turned out to be lucky for the teenager as the New Zealand star Sonny Bill Williams took the fan under his wing. Check it out.
Hey, I'll take it back to your parents.
Just try to walk around.
The player walks him back to his seat like they're best friends, taking pictures along the way. And then he even gives away his Rugby World Cup medal. We don't know what this 18-year-old girl was on, but at the speed of 80 miles per hour, she is leaning further and further out of a train carriage. At some point, she is almost fully out. As the oncoming train moves past, it appears to hit her. The girl loses her balance, nearly ending up under the wheels of the train car. But the vigilant passengers grab her clothes and pull her back. And, judging by the look in her eyes, she didn't even know what happened. It's unclear how the child came to be hanging off a chairlift. Perhaps his seat wasn't properly secured. The staff didn't hear the screams because of music, while the father struggled to hold on to the boy. These young heroes took control of the situation. They found some netting, added a mat on top, and asked the boy to take off his skis to avoid injury in a fall. Finally, Dad let go of his kid, and he simply landed in the net.
Wow, they're heroes. They are heroes.
This woman worked tirelessly for 3 years to make her son's dream come true. And now she is giving them the keys to a new house.
Welcome to our home.
This calf slipped and fell into an overflowing river with a fast current. When it was washed towards a wall, a man bravely jumps into the river to retrieve the drowning animal. Coming back to the shore is rather difficult, so another man helps to haul them both out of the water. Sometimes a simple action can have a big impact. That's exactly what happened during a hailstorm in California. A teen ran outside with an umbrella to help an elderly man cross the street. Saving this fawn wasn't difficult either. But look how much that meant to its mom. This emotional reunion is between a Columbus police officer and a person he saved from drowning in a pool nearly 20 years earlier.
Our primary goal. How you doing, sir?
How are you?
Good.
Remember me?
No, I don't, sir.
About 1997?
Oh my God, are you serious?
5-year-old out of a swimming pool?
At the time, Chris was only 5 years old. As an adult, Chris found a photo of his savior on Facebook and came to say thank you. A police officer from Florida went above and beyond for a good cause. He helped a homeless man to shave his beard. Turns out the man was preparing for an interview at a local McDonald's. We don't know if he got the job, but he definitely made a friend in a blue uniform. Over 20 years of service in Highway Patrol, Kevin Briggs saved many people from committing suicide. Kevin Berthia had already climbed over the railings of the Golden Gate Bridge when Briggs spoke to him. For 92 minutes, Berthia was telling Briggs about his troubles. His daughter was born prematurely the year before, and the medical treatment costs climbed up to nearly $250,000. That didn't stop her from achieving success in sports. Since she met 2-year-old Joseph Todd, her life has been filled with a greater sense of purpose. The boy is also missing his left forearm, and now Carson has someone to inspire. They became best friends, and the way they bump elbows is so endearing. This footage went viral. Commit more acts of kindness and be sure to subscribe to our channel. There is a lot of interesting content ahead.